the Vintage Clinic 1101. I'm Matt.
And I'm Vince.
And you might remember from the last time that we met, we have Vince's 1950 Ford that is not running. We were able to verify that the engine is not locked up by turning the harmonic balancer 720 degrees or 2 revolutions. And we had a freed engine. So now we just have to figure out about the spark issue. Vince has picked up brand new spark plugs and wires, which we'll be showing in another episode on how to gap plugs and cut wires. But the first step of any spark plug is to understand your engine numbering system and the firing order.
And you'll find that, bear with me. Before you do anything, if you've got an old vehicle, spend $25 to $45 and get yourself a shop manual. It's so important. The information in here is invaluable. You're going to need this no matter what type of work you do on your vehicle. But in this particular case, we've identified the engine specifications for this vehicle. And like Matt said, it's important to know the firing order for your vehicle in order to determine how the spark goes to each cylinder. In this particular case, we've identified that the firing order for this car is 15486372, and that corresponds with the way the wires are identified and set onto the distributor.
Now, also the manufacturer of your vehicle is going to affect the firing order in the numbering system. Ford uses the firing order that Vince pointed out of 15486372, and the numbers are on the even bank, or right or passenger bank, are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the left bank or on the driver's side of the vehicle. As an example, General Motors uses a firing order of 18436572, different firing order and a different format for numbering. For GM, odd numbers are on the left, even numbers are on the right. So we'll revisit firing order when we put the wires and plugs back in. We'll take a break right now and show you how to gap plugs and get your wires ready.
Great.
All right, we're all set to put in some brand new spark plugs in the 1950 Ford. It's important that when we get brand new spark plugs, we check what's called the gap. And what we're talking about, the gap, is the distance between the center point and the ground electrode. Every manufacturer is going to be a little bit different. Typically, older cars are 30 to 35 thousandths. I think this one was 30 thousandths, Vince?
It's 30 thousandths according to the spec.
And again, that is the gap between these plugs. Modern day plugs are more on the line of about 50 to 55 thousandths because of the use of HEI or high energy ignition. A little bit too new for the Vintage Clinic 1101, but the point that we want to make to you right now is to understand what your gap is and how to measure it, which Vince will demonstrate.
And that's what we're going to do right now. Prior to that, what I want to do is just demonstrate different types of feeler gauges. And a feeler gauge is nothing more than a measuring device. In this particular case right here, it's a series of different thickness pieces of metal, and every one of those is identified, I don't know if you can see that, with the corresponding measurement right there on the tab. So this is what I call a fan type. This is, again, these references may not be correct, but this is how I grew up. This was a pick type. This is another type of feeler gauge. This one is just a smaller version of this one right here. And then you've got the wheel type. And again, this type is also used for measuring the gap on a spark plug, which we're going to do right now. So as Matt said, we're going to gap this particular set of plugs. And again, the gap on these plugs is supposed to be 30 thousandths. So you first identify the corresponding correct tab for your measurement. This is 30 thousandths right here. And what you want to do is place it between the electrode and the end right there. And if it's too tight, there's a cute little device right here that allows you to pry it back just a little bit, because you just want a little bit of resistance as you put that pick in there. Still a little bit more. And there you go. That's what we want. Just a little bit of resistance. Now, if it's too much, and I'll demonstrate with this one right here. Let's say you've got a plug that comes out of the box brand new, or you're resetting plugs on an existing set of plugs in your car, and you find that this is way too loose. A simple tap on a solid surface is all you need to bring that back into spec. And there we go. And we've got that done. That's the basic operation for gapping a set of plugs. And with that, we're going to move on to wires.